Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and with me is...
Jupi Chan, also known as the Jupi, or you can call me Wendy. Hi guys! Let's kick some shell.
Yep, we're very excited for this episode of the review Sanctum. We're going to be talking about the Ninja Turtles, the original 90s movie that's been re-released in select theaters for a limited time to celebrate the 35th anniversary of that classic movie. Now, of course, a lot of people already seen the movie and stuff. I mean, we'll still go over little things here and there, but this time we're going to focus a bit more about, like, I guess the theatrical experience, our thoughts on it, just the vibe, and you know, just things here and there about it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I want to go into though is that unfortunately it wasn't really like heavily advertised and not many people knew about it. I know it was a trailer on YouTube, but I guess, I don't know, they should put it on TV, you know, watching AEW, the TV, the picture-in-picture, you know, watch here, this fighting picture-in-picture, and you see the Turtles being advertised as a limited event, that would have helped out.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I just randomly saw a picture of the anniversary coming soon on Reddit or something a couple of months back. And that's how I told Jupes about it, and of course we, you know, told all our friends about it, and we got like a big group going together.
Yeah, there were 7 of us that went along for that trip.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if I didn't see that picture, who knows? We might have missed it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And for an example, our good buddy Ricky Rocks, shout out to Ricky Rocks, the retro rocker there, also went to check out the movie last night, and apparently only 6 people were there, including them. You know, so again, not very well known.
See, when I hear about that, I just think of my experience with Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh God.
Like I said, we saw it like the second weekend it was out. It was me, my cousin, and like 2 other people, and we couldn't figure out why. And then we saw the movie and we understood why.
Oh God. So in this one also, we went with a group of 7. And there were, I want to say, maybe 25 or so more people there. It wasn't really full, but the seat behind it was like 3 or 4 sided rows of people still.
And it was funny because when we walked to the theater, because you know, nowadays you have to pick your seats, you know, unlike how it used to be back in the day. Boom, just sit wherever you want. So I was looking like, wait a minute, why are those people in those seats where they got real fast and they moved to where they're supposed to be sitting?
Yeah.
Because we kind of had pretty much almost that entire first row.
Yeah. And another thing also is that, again, I guess, you know, they want to go with the extra trouble of putting up and taking down the posters. We didn't have any, like, big movie poster on the wall where, you know how we always post in our videos, our screen things, our thumbnails are usually me and Jupe's posting in front of the movie poster. There was no movie poster to post in front of, so, you know.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, so right off the bat, one of the cool things about the movie is that before it even starts, they go into, like, there's like this project that's coming up that's going to show lots of turtle stuff, but the cool thing is behind the scenes footage of the filming of the movie and also these deleted scenes. It is so cool because even back then when the movie was out, you know, originally, we had like the novelization. I used to own that, and I also had the Archie Comics movie adaptation and stuff like that. And it was a Ninja Turtles sticker album. The Panini sticker albums and stuff.
Yeah.
And they had pictures and things here and there of additional scenes that never made to the original movie. And just real quick for you guys that may or may not know, let me just kind of list them off because I think most of y'all know the plot, right? We can just go in there. So right off the bat, and this is so cool. Like I was confused at first. But then I saw, you know, April and Danny sitting in the chair. I'm kind of like...
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We're going into that, but just so you can let people know the name of the site you can go to check it out.
Yeah, you can, because I brought the name of it.
Yeah, it was called definitivefilm.com. And you can just go there to see all the stuff, extra stuff, behind the scenes stuff, doing the little documentary about it and everything, so...
Yeah. So, yeah, when they finally started, because the thing is, this one didn't have, like, trailers or nothing, it just went straight into the production or whatever, because I guess, you know, it's no movie. What they were doing, oh, it was cool, they had Ninja Turtle commercials, though, they were advertising all these, the Ninja Turtle, like, phone app games and stuff like that.
And The Last Ronin.
Oh,
that was playing as we were walking in.
Oh, wow.
That popped up.
Like the comic book, like to buy the comic book, or
I don't know. I just caught Last Ronin and then it was over. So I don't know if it was like for the comic book or something, or one of the action, action figures or what.
But anyways, yeah. So there was this opening scene. I was confused at first, but then I saw like Judith Hogue, and Daniel Panton sitting there. I'm like, oh, I know what this is, because the original cut ending of the Turtles movie, which is kind of weird showing that first, But anyways, the original ending of the Turtles movie was supposed to be that after all the stuff calmed down, we go to this comic book type shop, or like I guess like a publishing company, and April and Danny are trying to sell him the idea of the Turtles based on April's, like, you know, the sketch drawing she did during the movie. And the guy's like watching and thinking, he's kind of like, I don't know, like for a comic book, like the idea's kind of far-fetched.
Very absurd, yes.
Yeah, but the thing is, as he's talking behind him, because you know, big window and stuff, the turtles are actually like on each side of the corners with suction cups and stuff. And Michelangelo's like far-fetched and that kind of thing. And I remember seeing that in the comic, and I remember seeing an actual picture of it in the album. Because you know how it is, a lot of these promotional materials are always made in advance because so they're out in time for the movie. So I'm assuming that was before he knew that scene was not gonna make it.
It'll get cut.
Yeah. And then, of course, other scenes that got changed around or edited around. And that's the thing now, as adults, are rewatching it and now that we know what to look for,
Yeah.
One of the scenes was when Tatsu was angry because Shredder was disappointed that the turtles actually got away and everything. Tatsu took it out.
Yeah, because Shredder was angry at him, and then Tatsu took it out on one of the,
people. Well, he was being a fair one, but when the one guy's like, dude, stop, please, he attacked them. And the thing is, he flat out killed him. He was dead.
Yeah, and you could tell they were adding the breathing sounds and all that stuff. I mean, you can tell with the editing now, but back then you probably wouldn't have noticed it. And the fact that we know it, you just would say, oh, they just dubbed it in, maybe the actor couldn't do the line or something. But now we know he was supposed to have killed him, which explains Tatsu's reaction and why he walked off in the way that he did. Yeah. And why the other characters were looking at it, with their reactions to that person.
Yeah. And if you notice, the actor, when they take off like the Foot Clan mask and stuff, he was not moving or breathing or nothing, but they're adding all these, sounds like he's whatever, but
must bleed.
Yeah. And, that was also, the novelization did say that he flat out killed him and stuff like that, so that was kind of different. And another scene that they also missed was, there was supposed to be a scene when the Shredder first appears and 4 guys of the Foot were supposed to attack him and stuff, and of course Shredder takes them all down
without moving from his spot, and the goal was to take the bandana off of his arm.
Yeah, I remember that also being, I don't know about the comic book, because of course the comic book has to condense things to fit in the whatever, but the novelization did show that part. It described that part, so that was also in the cut scenes that they showed here, the behind the scenes era before scene footage stuff.
I wish you still had that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the novelization, I don't know. I mean, that was lost in Chicago, lost of time, But I have the Archie comic though. I don't know what's all in there. Now, one thing that also a lot of people know too is that the scene where the turtles had to escape to the farmhouse and everything, and Raphael's half dead and stuff, and April kind of goes into detail of how each character is dealing with their situation.
Oh, can I get to that one? Can I do this one?
Okay, well I'll just say that if you notice, there's a character that she did not name at all.
Yep, and that character was Michelangelo. Noticed it back then. Never thought much of it, but I knew it back then. But then watching it. Knowing what you know now as adults or later on, we know that they cut Michelangelo's stuff, but we don't know fully why. But like my cousin was saying, he thinks that they probably cut it because Mikey's character, for the children, because Mikey's character is supposed to be the happy-go-lucky one. Yeah. So we don't want to see him all depressed and down. Yeah. So they probably cut anything associated with him because in the beginning of the movie, as we saw, Donatello was having this, a conversation with Michelangelo about how would he feel if Splinter was gone. And you see he kind of brushed it off, like he didn't even want to think about it, he didn't want to get into it. With all the stuff that happened when he had to go up to the farmhouse, it's like his emotions were like all over the place and he didn't know what to do with himself. So yeah, he had a lot of pent-up aggression and he was getting it out. Now, in the comic book, April was scared of Michelangelo at this point because he was being like very quiet and all this other stuff, and he was just punching the punching bag and all that other stuff. Yeah. Which they had in the movie, but they switched it off to being wrath.
Yeah. And the thing is that, in my opinion, they should have kept it. I know stuff, but it's like, because it's supposed to represent that, with them thinking that Splinter's dead and stuff, at the time they didn't know, they thought, he was dead. Or at the very least, they'll never see him again and stuff like that. I mean, it just shows that even the more happy-go-lucky character, even he got broken by that.
Yeah, that broke him down.
So he's punching the punching bag.
And in the, also in the comic, he was like beating the wall or hitting the punching bag and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the final scene when he finally, punched the punching bag through the wall and broke the farm wall or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He finally had all that pent up energy kind of out.
Yeah.
And he kind of went back to himself. So it's sort of like how Michelangelo's like a wild card, and that kind of goes with like, he's happy-go-lucky, but you can push him.
Yeah, and then the thing also is, of course, the famous, like, the scene where he's up there, like, Splinter,
and you see
the dubbed over, that's the thing, the dubbed over Raphael voice. I never noticed that, like, I didn't know until before, but now that we watched the movie with that intention, like, dude, the nunchucks were there. We never noticed that. And it's weird. I don't know, I guess it was too late to whatever, Cause I think one of the parts in the documentary, they were saying they didn't have too many days, they had to rush it up, they had too many,
They say they only had like 7 weeks to shoot.
Yeah, so not many time for like retakes or redos. That's the thing too, they're gonna cut the Michelangelo part just for the sake of not having April skip them all together. They could have added some new Michelangelo focus, more making pizza, I don't know, something like that. There was just not enough time to reshoot and do new scenes or whatever.
But I kind of wish they would have kept. That's one thing I wish when they redid putting it back in theaters. I kind of wish they would have kind of fixed that scene,
Yeah, but
and had that it was Michelangelo the whole time.
Yeah.
Like I mean that's exactly in the comic. That's exactly what happened in the comic.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, they want to keep it authentic because it's us going back in time and everything. And yeah, so the movie overall was pretty cool, and I liked the whole back in time vibe. I really did feel like we were there. And there were scenes and stuff that I didn't get, and I wouldn't really call them adult things. It's just things that kids just wouldn't care about.
Yeah, the nuances.
Because as a kid, I didn't know the hell Harrison Ford was. I mean, I know Star Wars.
Oh well,
thing,
I knew Harrison Ford was.
Yeah, I know, but those lines.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I wasn't too much into him. So I didn't get the joke that much when April's like, "Why don't I dream of Harrison Ford?" or whatever, and like the crowd was laughing at those little comments. We got the one with Casey Jones.
And Don said, "Let me guess, you're a claustrophobic." Hey, I've never listened to another guy that way. I didn't get that joke as a kid.
Yeah, me neither. The whole crowd was laughing. The small crowd we had at theater, we're all laughing at the claustrophobic line. I mentioned Roto-Rooter, that's an old thing.
Yes.
And then
and how what's the name? Casey and April reminded him of Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis from Moonlighting. Now I got that joke as a kid.
I never did.
Because my mother and my grandmother used to watch Moonlighting, so I got the joke for that one. Even though I never really saw much of the show, I know that their characters would banter. So yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the door slamming, because they've done that. And even Alvin and the Chipmunks spoofed it.
Oh God. But anyways, like I said, I didn't get that. I get it now, but not my 10, 11-year-old stuff from back then. And yeah, everyone was laughing at that scene too. All these little scenes here and there they were laughing at, and pretty cool. And also another thing, I didn't notice any kids in the crowd. This was like
they're all adults.
This is our movie. Everyone, like, the youngest people there are probably people still in their late 20s and stuff. And everything.
They're probably there out of curiosity, maybe.
30s and 40s and all that. I even heard someone saying that they like the Shredder way better than the Transformers Megatron Shredder.
Oh yeah, I
overheard that one dude say that. Yeah. Oh, and then another thing was me and her cousin, we were talking about like Shredder's cape. Because one detail we just don't notice, because I don't know what the hell they were thinking about, or maybe it just looked better in the filming or something. I don't know the movie tricks and cameras or whatever. But the thing is, Shredder's cape I always thought was just a black cape, And it wasn't until later when they released like these NACA movie figures where it's actually like a big white cape or grayish cape with like black stripes, like tigerish stripes all over it and whatever. But the thing is, I never thought about that. I'm like, the fuck is he wearing? And then people are like, oh, that's what he wore in the movie. And then we watched the movie now, and this time I was watching with more attention. If you notice a little bit, especially the scene with the Tatsu taking the cape off slowly, like over the spikes and stuff. I mean, with the lighting, like you kind of, sort of can see the stripes and sort of. But offhand, I just thought it was a black cape, and I don't know why they went with that design and not just go with a black cape. Maybe it just looked better with the lighting, because it was like the dark warehouse and all that kind of stuff. But that was a weird detail. And we were joking about, that's your pimp cape. That's the cape he wears for trying to entertain ladies in his, personal office. That kind of thing.
Do you want to be part of the Foot Clan? Oh God.
But anyways, that's basically it about the movie. The one thing that was interesting too is that most of our group, I think one or two people in your group still saw it, but most of our group actually didn't get to see the movie in theaters. So
Yeah,
for us, it was like
3 of the people in our group got to see it in the theaters for like my childhood friend that came with us. He said his father took him. I'm assuming he didn't take his younger brother. I don't know if his younger brother would have gone because he would have been pretty young at the time. Oh gosh, probably like 2 years old or something. So
yeah.
Right.
But in my case, yeah, we didn't see it in theaters back in the day. It just came in a, you know, like a time where we couldn't spend the money. Because the thing is, we lived back in our Chicago area. The theaters and stuff were more like in downtown, like in Fort City and all that. It's far to get there, so it's also like just getting there is already kind of a thing. And then of course the money, the tickets, whatever. You know, it was the olden days, you know. Like, but he used to say the famous thing to traders, like, if you can only afford to watch one movie this summer, make sure it's so and so movie. And back then I didn't get it, but now thinking back, I do, because back then you could afford to only go maybe once or twice a year or something, you know. So it wasn't in the cards for the Turtles. It was, you know, just didn't hit, and that's why I got like the novelization, the comic book. One of my friends did go to see it, and I was asking all the questions. Oh my God, how was it? And all that kind of stuff, because that's as close as we could get, you know. Because it took a while before it eventually would come over to VHS, and I believe, I forgot if it was either a birthday present or a Christmas present, but we finally got the movie on VHS at home. I remember we rented the hell out of it. Oh, that was a problem too. Like, it was cool to actually own it when we got it for the present.
Yeah.
But the bad thing is that we rented it so many times, like the novelty was kind of, like, it was cool, but, you know, it wasn't exciting like, you know, you already seen it and everything. But it was pretty cool.
Dang, so like goes with Batman. Until my aunt finally got it.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, I'm trying to remember with the movie and the VHS thing.
Well, like I said, at least one good thing is everyone out there should know what the story is. Shredder, the Foot Clan was pretty much taking over the city, pretty much. A lot of crime, bringing kids in to do all his dirty work. He's probably going to take all the stuff he's stealing, resell it out on the black market, get a profit from that, bring in more kids, corrupt, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And April was getting too close to, you know, getting a little too nosy. She had 2 shuttits, and and yeah, the Turtles get involved, save her, yada yada yada, yakety smack it in the air.
Yeah, well, also the whole thing. Yeah, that's one thing I do want to say too. It was more exciting. The thing about the movie is that despite all the, you know, the cowabunga and all this, the crazy stuff, it does have a lot of heart in it and a lot of serious things. And as a kid, some parts were kind of boring for me a bit, you know, because it was more emotional based. While the second movie was all, you know, more fun, more gags, more whatever.
Yeah, so I'll admit, like I said, the second movie when I was young, like really, you know, very much younger, I really did like that second movie a lot.
Yeah.
But as I was getting older, I was getting more like, and I was like, and then I started liking the first one way more. And I'm looking at the second movie, I'm like, I hate parents.
Yeah. And the thing is, with
parents complaining.
Yeah, with the first movie, the thing is, it does kind of slow down when you go to the farmhouse and stuff. But the thing is, I mean, that's important to the movie because again, it deals with
character development and all that stuff, which is important in a film.
And the Turtles also recovering because, like April said, it's their first major defeat. They got to recover their wounds. Raphael was in a state where they didn't know if he was gonna survive or not. He was in the bathtub and everything. I don't know if we were laughing about that though. The theater was laughing.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I did not understand that. Unless someone made
some guy was just like, dude, they just dumped it in the bathtub. What the hell and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe that's why they were laughing. Like, dude, they couldn't find him. Like, put him in a bed. I mean, you know. Yes.
I don't know. Well, I mean, it's a small farmhouse. Maybe there wasn't a spare bed for him or something. But anyways, you know, you have to get past all that. And then Raphael kind of, you know, he gets better finally. The Turtles go back to training. They have the big meditation scene with Splinter that gave him new hope.
Which is interesting because, for me, for this movie, I focus on Mikey. He was one of the first ones to break down, and he was one of the most serious for that scene, too. When Donnie wasn't.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to me, so...
Yeah, and then the other thing, too, was that, we got to see, of course, how Casey and April slowly went from they could barely stand each other to slowly getting more along and stuff. So that's all stuff that we kind of needed to see and everything. And then, of course, they go back to New York, and now it's like all the action, the final battle with the Shredder, and all that kind of stuff. But
and to this day, even when I was a child, I still was so laugh at this. When Splinter's on that roof with Shredder, and Shredder attacks him with the spear. And he used the nunchucks, he used, you know, his momentum against him, like, whoop! I'm sorry, it's playing it because I just thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
And it wasn't meant to be funny. It just looks funny.
Oh, jeez. So then the other thing, another thing I did find interesting, because back then, the Turtles, all we knew, well, the majority of us, I know that the comic books were out and people did buy the comics because obviously it became popular enough to get a cartoon show on Toyline and all that stuff, but the majority of us did
But the toy line came first, and it made the show to promote the toys. So,
yeah. But that's the thing. Most of the kids and everything, we first got introduced to the Turtles with the cartoon. So I'd have to say it was kind of brave of the movie back then to kind of ignore the cartoon and go straight with the Mirage comics, because nowadays people know. Back then we didn't, but nowadays with the 2003 cartoon and the 2012 cartoon doing their takes on it, now we know that the whole story, with pretty much the Shredder and them attacking the second time around shop with the Turtles, Ape Girl, Casey, they get away, they go to Northampton, they recover in the farm, and eventually come back and take out the Shredder. That whole stuff was all Mirage Comics, storylines and stuff. So I did find it kind of a brave direction to do that and have the Shredder and the Foot look like they do in the comics. Because back then as a kid I didn't know. I thought that they made them like human foot soldiers because it'd be maybe too expensive.
Yeah, they have them be all robots, whereas in the cartoon they had to make her robots because of what's the name did when Raph hit that one and said clang, then he go clang, and then what's the name just sliced. It was before it was the timing of that, because that clang and Leo slice, it was just too close together for him to have stopped himself from slicing them and said, they're robots. All right, let's kick. Yeah. And Mike, I'm sorry, I always just love that.
Yeah.
So.
But that was the thing. So I was confused on that. I was confused that or I thought back then they were using humans because it was cheaper. I didn't know that that's how they look like in the comics.
And then they were actual humans.
And in the comics they are humans, And
I remember I was confused the way Shredder was dressed too. I was like, that's his comic look. I didn't know that yet until way later. So.
Yeah, and that was the thing. But, and that's another cool thing. I know the comics are black and white, but the few times that there's, the covers and stuff, Shredder was wearing red. So that is definitely based on the comics. That's pretty cool. And it was interesting, too, because the Nintendo game, Shredder looked dressed in red. It was based more on the comics.
Well,
the first TMNT, with the dam level, there everyone knows.
Yes.
And stuff like that. But... that too. Oh, I even remember that. The Chicago Sun-Times, the reviews, people were complaining about the weapons, but also about that. One of the Turtles, their first couple of words after the movie was damn, damn, damn,
Oh my God, when I saw that as a kid, I was like, oh, they're using language? No, seriously, that was my reaction. I was like, that's bad language.
Now, one thing I remember too, only in the comic book, it wasn't in the movie, in the Archie comics, and I don't know if that was a line that was maybe put or whatever, I don't know. But the scene where the Turtles were still in April's apartment, they're watching the news, and how they don't know what happened to Splinter and stuff. And in the movie, Raphael's just like, this stinks, and all that stuff. We're just doing nothing, that's the words from our great leader and all that stuff. In the comic book version, they made him say, this sucks instead. And back then, us kids, we were all looking at the oh man, he said this sucks. And we're all laughing and joking, all that. It was still the Bart Simpson era, and everything. So
oh my gosh, like I said, my mom didn't want me watching The Simpsons because of the way Bart would talk.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Homer Simpson. Was that Bart Simpson? Who the hell are you? I mean, my mother heard that and said, nope, you are not watching the show.
Oh my God.
Children should not be talking like that to adults. That's how she was.
Yeah. But that's the thing. So anyways, it was a cool movie, and it was awesome to kind of go back in time, and it's like an extra chance for people that did not see it in the theaters to have that theatrical experience, and there are people that already did to, relive the theatrical experience. But it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We didn't see any parents with maybe their kids showing them the movie, or parents with their grandkids, because technically we're old enough to be grandparents.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But
that hurts me.
But anyways, this was for the adults. This was for all the kids that now grew up and are still Turtle fans. Almost everyone had some kind of Ninja Turtle shirt or some Turtle representation or something. One of your friends, the couple, one of them actually came with they were wearing a blue bandana and the girl had an orange bandana.
Yeah, they had their bandanas and everything. I was like, man, I wish I had my hat. I don't know what happened to my hat, because I would probably wear the Raphael one I used to have. Yeah. And I had 4 Ninja Turtle water bottles. I used to have 4 of them. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah. And
moving around too much.
Me too, moving around. I had Ninja Turtle bandanas from the TMNT box, but you know, and you know, it was a thing. And after that, we all went to Draftcade, have some fun there, check out the arcades, and of course, Draftcade is perfect because they had both the original Turtles arcade game
and Turtles in Time
and everything. So that was kind of cool. Maybe I might have drank a little too much during that event, but you know how it goes. So it was a perfect kind of retro night. We all went to check it out. And it was also cool because some of our friends had never gone to Draftcade. So we're like, hey, then let's go!
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. So
it was very spontaneous. But going back to the movie, there are some things like I wish they could have kept in the movie. One thing that was cut from the movie was Casey watching the news getting more and more upset.
Oh yeah, that too.
Over the fact that the crime was becoming more prevalent in the city. Yeah. And then that's what set him off to go out and try to take out all the scuzz buckets and scuzz balls.
I read about that. That was also in the comic and the novelization. That scene.
That would have been perfect because then him just showing up when with the kids when he encountered Raphael. I just think it would have been interesting.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know if those scenes are, because you know how it is, the movie quality and stuff, because back then, like, when they show us the scenes to look kind of
grainy,
not completely cleaned up, because they're not going to be in the final cut. I wish it could, if those scenes were still cleaned up, that would have been cool to re-edit.
See, that's what I was thinking. See, that's what I was actually expecting them to re-edit stuff into the movie. Or, some of the things that they had to cut out and just put it back in. So, yeah. But apparently that wasn't the case. No,
the whole point was the original movie because that's how we all remembered as kids. But then also that little featurette, the extra behind-the-scenes stuff and everything. Mm-hmm. I was geeking out. I was like, oh, it's that scene. Oh, it's that scene. Because I remember
and then here's some other things, too. Seeing things I never noticed before. Like, my cousin, he called this one and said, Wendy, look. Look at the boxes. They're RG comic boxes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, and of course, the other thing we also noticed is, like, it's so weird that they made so many deals with Pizza Hut and all the commercials with Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
And then, like, you get a free Pizza Hut coupon when you buy the VHS tape and all that kind of junk. But then, like, the Turtles are eating Domino's pizza in the actual movie.
And I still would like to know why. If anybody knows, please tell us.
Yeah, so, like, what happened? Did the deal just go south in the very last minute and it was too late to backtrack? Or?
Yeah. I mean...
Maybe the deal was supposed to be with Domino's and it fell through, so they went to Pizza Hut. That was too late. They already got the Domino's scene in there. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, I think it's kind of it there before we kind of go into circles because it was just a fun movie full of memories.
From my experience with the movie, like I said, I saw it on video.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see it in theaters. My mother just didn't take me. I don't know. And same with my cousin. And I remember a couple of weeks ago, I asked my aunt, why did you take him to go see the movie? To see the Turtles movie? And her response was, I don't go see no Turtles or some movie. But also, too, at the time, he would have been like, about 5 or so?
Mm.
So I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he would have got a kick out of it. But his younger brother was just born the previous year. Mm. And that probably played into it too.
Yeah, I had to find a sitter or something, or take the baby along around.
God, my family were the sitters.
Oh God, yeah.
No, but I don't know. So that was there. So I really wanted to see the movie, but I don't know what happened. So
yeah.
We just didn't go see it. But I did like when I saw it on video. Like I said, I kept rewinding back and forth with flipping over that rail. And the other thing too, Casey is so sadistic. And I never thought about this either at the time. So how many dead bodies were left in this movie? Think about it. Okay, he got the garbage truck and all those kids fell in, those foot soldiers fell into it, right?
Yeah.
And then, what's that? He flipped. Sorry. He flipped and landed and then, oops. What about the kids in there? We know Shredder got out somehow.
I'm sure the kids are... enough time has passed that you think they would have climbed out of the garbage truck before...
Now they got knocked out when they got in there.
Well,
I'm sorry, that's not how it works.
No, it's okay. You can still hear the breathing and groaning sounds. They're okay. I can see parachutes. They're okay.
Oh, God! I hate you, Funimation. Anyway. And the other thing, April's apartment in the antique store... How many of those kids got left behind? So like Tatsu, ninja, vanish. Leave ones that don't move no more behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole place
Well,
caught on fire
I mean,
and fell down.
You would assume they all got. Because the thing is, because the cops would have found them sooner. The cops like didn't know until the end of the movie. I'm sure they would have arrested some or something.
No, remember the building was burning.
Yeah.
And it would have been falling down. It would have been collapsing. I'm saying. They had to leave some bodies or kids behind because they got knocked out by most of them.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you know, no one knew the Foot Clan existed. If you go, because you have to investigate the fire trucks, the police.
No, I mean, I'm just talking.
Bodies wearing the black ninja.
No, I'm just saying in general. There had to be some bodies in there. That's where I'm going with that. Especially that poor kid that got electrocuted with the accident hitting the electrical line. You know he's dead.
I can see parachutes. They're okay. But anyway. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, baby details like that's also what parents can
Yeah. I didn't think about that. I mean, you think that it was like, oh yeah, that's so cool, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Wayne Gretzky on steroids, yeah. And I got that joke too, like who Wayne Gretzky was.
Yeah,
Even though, see, I think Wayne Gretzky is like the Hulk Hogan of wrestling. I mean, you don't have to know anything about hockey, but you knew who Wayne Gretzky was.
Yeah, and also the Jose Canseco line. I know people nowadays are making comments like about would kids even know who Jose Canseco was? I mean, I'm pretty sure because back then he was like the top baseball MVP of like all baseball. So I think he kind of is, if you're into baseball, like you would know him.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe his card was like, you know, worth a whole lot and everything at the time.
I guess also the same thing, like your Michael Jordans, your Magic Johnsons for basketball, and
Yeah.
you just go to know them.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, before we go into even more tangents and stuff, we're gonna wrap it up here.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it was a fun movie, fun time. Unfortunately, I would like to say, you know, go check it out, whatever, but it's a limited time thing. It'll probably be gone by the time that, you know, you see the video. I think it was a deal with only like AMC theaters and maybe one or two.
Well, we were the Regal cinemas, so yeah.
Yeah, so it's only like, you know, limited locations, limited areas and stuff like that. So, you know, if you're lucky to have gone this past weekend or this past week.
This whole week, I think, or going up to this week. I think for here, I think they're going to be done like on Wednesday or Thursday or something.
Yeah. So if you can still do it, you know, check it out for the memories. But, you know, not, you know, oh well. But anyways, guys, that's how it goes. We got some pizza here we kind of can't wait to dig into. So this is Margaret Drake signing off here.
And this is Jupi channel, also known as Jupi, or you can just call me Wendy. And I just got one thing to say to everybody out there. TURTLE power.
Yep, and one thing I want to say is, let's eat. See you later, guys.